Hey everybody, how's it going? It's the Daily Shooter, and today I'm coming to you from inside the house to give you a review of this 35-inch shelf from Tactical Walls, right by the front door and ready to go. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is the Tactical Walls Model 825. This is a 35-inch double pistol shelf. They have some that are a little bit longer, a little bit wider for your long guns. They have some that are a little bit shorter for single pistols, but for my wife and I thought this would be perfect. We each have our own in there, and you can put magazines, flashlights, and change the configuration to best suit you. So 35-inch was perfect. They have different finishes, different woods, different features like interior lighting and stuff like that that you can choose from, so you can really configure it to fit you the best. And I gotta be honest, I've always wanted one of these. I've had this for like 4 months. It took me 2 months to get motivated to put this thing up, and then I finally put it up, and I've had it up for 2 months now, and I was really surprised at how much peace of mind this offers. So again, not only is it a nice piece of furniture, but it offers peace of mind that shouldn't be overlooked, because I know that if I come down in the middle of the night, just wearing my pajamas, getting something to drink, right? It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I hear some noise at the front door, something going on. I know that I have quick and easy access to something that can defend me, myself, my kids, my family, you know, and my wife has something available to her as well. So if we're just sitting on the couch, this is the main living area right here. If we're just sitting on the couch watching TV and something happens, we can pop up, and in a matter of 1 or 2 seconds, we both have access to our defensive tools in here. So again, it's pretty cool. This one being 35 inches really does offer a lot of versatility in how you can configure things. So it's pretty nice. But basically the way that it works is you have this shelf right here. On the top of the shelf, there are internal locking devices and basically like hinges, right? So there's internal locking devices that lock and unlock using this rare earth magnet right here. And so what happens is when you take the magnet and you put the magnet over that locking surface, it basically just pulls up on the hook, the hinge that's in there. It pulls up on that and allows the shelf to come down. The interesting thing about it though is that even with this one right here, it's a little bit longer, so it has 2 magnets. If you put both magnets in their locations, the shelf isn't going to come down. The only way that you can get this shelf to come down is by putting the magnets there and then lifting up. So if you want this shelf to be on the ready all the time, what I do is during the day, you know, whenever, if I'm not leaving the house or something, I'll just put the magnets right there and leave them. That way, if I need something, all I have to do is simply lift up, drop it down. I have quick access to everything that I need. Then at, let's say I'm gonna be leaving for a couple days, I can take these magnets right here, remove the magnets, put these magnets somewhere else, you know, hide them somewhere, and there's no way to get into this shelf. I mean, we even tried getting into the shelf before we put it up on the wall. Let's see if we can kind of pry it apart. This shelf does not come apart. Unless you have a pry tool, obviously it's wood. You can always destroy it and get into it. So if somebody can rip it off the wall or something, they're gonna be able to get in there. It's not a safe, but at the same time, it does offer a little security where if somebody comes in and says, oh, this looks like, you know, something here, there's really no way to, you know, just get in it to see what's in there. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you guys how I have mine set up. Now, you can set yours up however you want because it comes with a solid piece of foam that has an adhesive backer on it. You take that thing out, you cut it to whatever shape you want, depending on what you want to put in there and how much stuff you want to put in it. And then you go ahead, you take the adhesive backing and you slap this thing in there and it's going to stay in there. Right now we have my wife's pistol, we have my pistol, we have a 33 round Glock magazine, we have a 17 round magazine, and then each pistol has its own magazine already in it. Each of us has our own flashlight that's in there. I may make another slot right here to put a knife or something else, just kind of round everything out so that we have everything that we could possibly need in there. But you know, the way that you want to set it up is totally up to you, and that's one of the things I like about it. It's not like a pre-cut, pre-assembled thing. The shelf itself does come pre-assembled. You don't have to put anything together other than, you know, put it up on the wall and then hang it with the brackets. But the foam you can cut out to whatever design you want. So for me, what I did is I went ahead and I put the cutout of my pistol in there, put a little notch in the back just to kind of help me get it out so that, you know, it's not in there so tight that I have to dig around it in order to get it. You'll notice that I have both of mine facing forward, and that's because we're both right-handed, and that means that, you know, chances are both of us are going to be grabbing with our right hands, and then it's going to be facing the door. So I basically did that to lessen the amount of movement that I would need in order to access it. And obviously, if the threat's coming from the front door, they're already facing that direction. So I could basically just come in with my right hand, grab it out like this, and I'm already ready to go. So I have my Shadow Systems MR920 in there. It has a standard Glock magazine with the Tyrant Designs extension on it, so we have that in there. And then my wife has her custom Glock 19 with the Alpha Shooting Sports and the Faxon barrel. These are both pistols that we trust 100%. We've used them for so long. She took her CCW class with this. We've both used these for so long now that we 100% trust the reliability on these pistols. So that's what we have in there. And then again, 33 round magazine, 17 round mag. We have plenty of ammo on hand. We don't need to put any boxes of ammo or anything else in there like that. As far as the 35-inch shelf holding anything more than that, let's say like a pistol caliber carbine or some type of other small longer pistol design, I'm not really sure that it would fit, only because of the height. So you could see with a Glock 19, the Shadow Systems MR920 is pretty much the same height as a Glock 19, but with this height right here, we're about an inch from the top, and then with the mag extension, I'm about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Her Glock 19, which is a little bit more standard size, about 1.5 inches from the top and about 1.25 inches from the bottom right there. So height is probably where you're going to find an issue if you try and put in something that's really big. You could very easily put in a couple 1911s, a couple CZs, or other large style pistols, M17s, things like that. Those would all fit in here, no problem. But I think anything larger than just a standard pistol probably wouldn't fit. Now, one thing I want to mention is this has a nice soft opening hydraulic hinge on it right here. It's not so soft that it takes forever for this thing to come down. It definitely comes down a little bit slower if there's not as much weight in here, but when I put the weight in there, it comes down a lot faster. If you really want this thing to open fast, when it starts to open, you can always grab it and force it down. But again, you have this hydraulic bar right here that's attached top to bottom, and that kind of keeps everything smooth as it drops down. The actual hinges on this are going to be located at the very ends right here. So on either side, you're going to get these little locking hinges, and then there's a little mechanical device that I'll show you in just a bit at the top right there that locks everything together and holds everything in place. But it's a really nice piece. It's not just something that's kind of thrown together. This is something that evolved over time. From what I understand, the original ones actually had magnets that went towards the bottom. That was a little bit different. Now with the magnets on top, it just kind of makes it easier to keep ththese magnets in the same spot. So you can go ahead and open it whenever you want to be able to use it, and then lock it if you don't want people to have access. So if you have kids coming over and you don't want anybody kind of fumbling around with things, all you have to do is just take those magnets, go hide them somewhere, and nobody will be able to get into it. So the one thing that I think people should keep in mind, though, is that since this is not a safe, you need to try and remember that state laws in different states are going to be drastically different, right? So California versus, let's say, Texas, right? When it comes to storage, some states have specific storage requirements. In California, it has to be an approved storage device by the California Department of Justice in order to be considered a safe. And so while this definitely keeps things up and away and locked and out of the hands of kids or anybody else who you don't want to have it, it might not be considered a safe storage device in the state that you live in. So try and keep that in mind as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you guys how this thing works. So right now the magnet's not on it, which allows this little piece right here to drop down, and that's what's going to keep this thing locked. So we have this hook there. It's not going to allow the actual drawer to open. When you bring the magnet over the top of it, however, as you can see, I'm just kind of moving the magnet off and on. It moves that thing out of the way, and when that moves out of the way, that allows that drawer to drop down. So again, it's really simple in the way that they did this. With the magnet on, that thing's not in the way, so the drawer can open. Move the magnet, that thing moves into place, and it's not going to move. That shelf goes on top right there into a little recess. There's a small recess as you bring the shelf up right there. If you guys can see that, that locks everything into place right there, and you're not going to be able to open it without it. So that's pretty cool. Now, one thing you want to consider if you're thinking about buying one of these and installing it, the 35-inch shelf in my house does fit across 3 studs. So I have a stud in the wall at one end, stud on the other end, and then there's a stud in the wall right here in the center. It comes with 2 L brackets that hold it from the top. So on the top on the wall like this, and on the top of the shelf. And then it comes with drywall screws for the top, and then it comes with these very short screws to install on the top of the shelf. So you are actually going to have to tap into the top of the shelf. There's no pre-drilled holes or anything like that, so you're going to have to line everything up, and you're going to have to do it yourself, get everything, you know, squared away and level. But one thing you want to consider is with the 3 studs, it allows a little bit of versatility. Having them all the way out to the sides like this is not the best way to go, and that's because when you mount this thing up, the brackets can kind of get in the way of the magnets just a little bit. So we had to adjust the shelf and offset it just a little bit so our magnets would go on there. But this is the way that my wife wanted it so that she could fit all of her decorations on there and you know, get it the way that she wanted it. So instead of having the 2 brackets, basically one stud like that, and set up more towards the center, we spaced it out so that she could put a bunch of stuff up there and not have anything in the way. So, but that is one thing you want to consider. You're going to have to tap into the top of this piece of wood here. So I just started off with a preset drilled hole, just, you know, tapped it out with that little drill bit and went ahead and screwed in both. Got it all leveled out, straightened up, and it was pretty easy to put up, to be honest with you. But it does have enough space where you can access 3 different studs in your wall to make it however, you know, you want to. So again, this is the Tactical Walls Model 825. Definitely worth taking a look at. Great piece of furniture, a lot of peace of mind, and it works out really well, and I'm happy to have it. So if you guys are interested, I'll put links. Since it's just furniture, I could probably put links down below, but in case I can't, just check out my website. The website will be linked down below, and I'll have links over on my website or any discount codes or coupons over there as well, because you know how YouTube is with putting stuff up like that. So Tactical Walls Model 825. I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. Have a great day.